Okay, I am presenting. Um, this presentation is on how memory champions memorize. I sure hope this works. This is the third time I'm doing it. So first I'll talk about what a memory palace is, a technique for storing information, vital if you want to memorize a lot of information. Then I'll talk about how you would go about memorizing numbers, and then I'll talk about how you would turn things into numbers so that you can memorize them using that technique for numbers. First, the human limit. The fastest someone's memorized deck of cards is in 12 seconds, and the most digits of pi someone's recited is 100,000. These are crazy things, but both of those people would tell you, if you were to ask them, that anyone could learn to do something very similar, like 10,000 digits of pi, just using the right techniques and spending a lot of time on it. Those are like any average person. Using the memory palace technique. This was, according to legend, created by Simonides of Chios. And according to the legend, he exited a palace just as it collapsed, and it crushed everyone inside beyond recognition, killed them all. And what Simonides did is he wanted to help the grieving families by identifying the victims of the collapse. And so he went into his mind, and he walked through the palace in his mind and was able to spot where everybody was, and he was able to identify them by going to the place and then digging them up. This is the first case of a memory palace, or one of the first recorded cases of a memory palace, but it doesn't need to be a palace. It can be anything, and you don't need to be remembering where people are buried. It's just like an image to kind of encode information. For instance, like a number you can store. For a lot of people, it's like a childhood house, and they just walk through it. It is kind of a journey as well. It's not just the destination. So how does it work? It works because your spatial memory is really powerful. For instance, you remember a lot of things about this space, this image up on the screen. There's like a bed, there's some plants. And it's much more interesting to, like, we know a lot more things about spaces than we would think, and especially spaces that we've been in a long time. It also works because information is stored linearly. So you'd be walking through a path through your house, and you're not just going to start in the kitchen and then go to the bathroom and then go to the back door and then the front door. You're not going to teleport places. You're going to be walking along, and so that way you're not going to recall information out of order. Now, the system for memorizing numbers, which I'll show, is called the person-action-object system. This is a very powerful system used by the best of the best. And basically you can turn a number into three parts: the person, the action, and the object. In this case, number 680793. 68 for me is Sherlock Holmes. 07 is getting inside of something as the action, and 93 is the object of a chess piece. So this would create the image of Sherlock Holmes inside of a chess piece. And then you would just kind of, I would place that image along a walk through my house if I wanted to memorize those numbers. Now, how did I make that assignment? How did I know that 68 was SH? Was Sherlock Holmes. Oh, sorry. It's SH. You turn the numbers into letters using like a letter assignment. And then 68 is SH. And SH, those are the initials of Sherlock Holmes. For like Oscar the Grouch, 07 turns to OG, that turns to Oscar the Grouch. And what does Oscar the Grouch do? Well, he is inside of a trash can. Magnus Carlsen is a professional chess player. And that's how I got Sherlock Holmes inside of a chess piece as the connection for 680793. It doesn't need to be that, it can be any association. This is a very powerful system because you get to store 6 digits of information inside just one funny image. And the image is much more memorable than the numbers. It also is powerful because once you're able to remember numbers like this, it becomes a computer science problem for remembering other types of information. For instance, binary maps really well onto base 10 numbers. This is a map of it right here, 000, 0, 001, 1. And then you can also turn cards into numbers. For me, like the 7 of clubs, that would be 73, because you keep the first number as is, and then the suit you can turn into a number just using some assignment. And I'm actually using the same assignment as earlier. I just use the first letter of the suit's name. Clubs is 3, diamonds is 4, spades is 6, hearts is 8. And then if you wanted to do other face cards, like the king could be the King of England, other associations for that. If you want to memorize chess, if you want to anyone who wants to up their chess game, anyone who wants to become a good player, all the best players in chess memorize a lot of chess moves. First, they need to memorize the start of the game, the first starting moves of the game, but also even the best of the best, like Magnus Carlsen, memorize entire chess games, and they can kind of like think back to them when they're playing their game. Now, this is a system for memorizing chess games and chess openings. First, you need to notice that a chessboard is essentially a coordinate grid. The y-axis is numbered, and the x-axis is lettered, but you can just have them both be numbers. And then any square on this coordinate grid is a 2-digit number. Then, all you need to do to notate a move is write down what the first square that the piece was at, and then the square that the piece ended up. So, for example, g2, if you were to do 72, 74, that would be g2, g4, which would be your g-pawn moves from g2 to g4, which is the worst possible move that is playable in this position. Yeah, it's a pretty powerful technique. Turns every square on the chessboard into a 2-digit number. Oh, this is the end of my presentation. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I guess I'm just sending this to you guys' family. This is a test to see which one of these do you recognize. Which one of these images just prove that these memory techniques are something that anyone can learn. Because if you can do this, like, you have a really good memory. Yeah. There we are.